So there are a lot of excuses, right, for avoiding veganism, even if people believe the dietitians or they believe the statistics, the pollution evidences, all those things, you know, animal cruelty, whatever. But then they go, oh, well, I go to the grocery store, it's ridiculously expensive, way too expensive. So I'm going to show what I make and for the most part what I eat over a week, and show how inexpensive it actually is, because this is all, now of course if you live in California or New York or whatever, all this stuff's going to be more expensive, and I don't know the exact prices of everything here, but I can tell you this is not expensive. This is okay, this is 3 cups of jasmine rice, and I get those in great big bags. Okay, I'm getting ready to make the jasmine rice, and so I get a can of the mixed vegetables. I get as many of those as I can. Those are very inexpensive. Those ones are great value. They're from Walmart. I get a can of Gardein plant-based chili with beans. This has crumbles, beans. It's chili. It's really delicious. Some people think it looks like dog food, smells like dog food stuff. Well, some dog food actually smells really, really good. So anyway, but this stuff, I don't eat it right out of the can, even though I don't have a problem with that. I'll put some vegan cheese in it, or maybe some hot sauce or something. I've got some water about to boil. I also use some of these Great Value original diced tomatoes with green chilies. And these are just, I drain them. And some of this unmeat, which is a vegan meat substitute. Super delicious, plant-based luncheon meat. This is the hot and spicy variety. Basically, you pop it out of the can, chop it into pieces, and use it in whatever you want. And I love this stuff so much. Actually, this right here on the front is one of the things I'm getting ready to make. And that's not, I didn't decide because of the cover of this. It's something I've always been making, and then I realized, wait a minute, they're showing exactly what I make on the cover here. So there we go. I've got 4.5 cups of water boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add the rice. Looks like it's got a little steamy there. Okay. Then you lower the heat to low. Cover and give it 15 minutes. Take a couple of glass storage bowls, and I prepare them for what I'm about to do. Now this makes 2 different things that I eat regularly. With this, I'm going to make what I use for burrito mix. So with those, I'll use grande burrito tortillas, the wraps. They're the biggest ones, as far as I know, the biggest ones you can get. Or I'll make 2 of them with the smaller ones, but it's actually calorically better for me to just make 1 large one, because 2 of the normal large, not grande, are about 150 to 200 more calories for 2 of those. This is what is the other dish that I make. I already have one that I've made that's been in the fridge, and this is just a rice dish that I eat regularly. I'll have it for breakfast or for dinner. I'll take some of this and put it in a bowl, and then I'll put some Asian spicy crisp sauce in it, and some of the Bragg's amino acid soy sauce, which is this stuff here, liquid aminos. This tastes better than pretty much every soy sauce I've ever had, and it's extremely good for you. It's vegan. I think if you taste this, you're going to immediately go, oh, that's way, way better than any soy sauce I ever had. I'll also put some of this either in my burritos or in my rice. This is a sambal oelek chili paste. This is kind of tart compared to the Asian spicy chili crisp that I usually use, and so usually I'll use the spicy chili crisp in the rice, and then I'll use this as a flavoring in the burritos. And what this is just 1 can of the mixed vegetables that we have here. I'll dump the whole can in, but I'll often take some of it out and put it in a smaller bowl, and then this is what I'll eat my first batch of it out of. And that's based on how much mixed veggies you want in there. Then I'll chop up some little squares of unmeat. This stuff is perfect if you just chop some off the block that comes out of this can, and then chop it into small pieces about the size of what they've got in this picture is pretty good. And then microwave it for about 1.5 minutes or a minute, depending on how much you're going to put in there. And then that's what's been added. And actually what's been added to this is a vegan chick tender. I think it was Gardein. Let's see if I have some here to show. Gardein Ultimate Plant-Based Chicken Tenders. I take 2 or 3 of these and then chop them up nice and small, and that's what this is. So this is mixed vegetables, chopped up Gardein tenders or unmeat, jasmine rice, and then later I'll put I'll microwave it. Then when I'm ready to eat it, I'll put soy sauce, a good amount of soy sauce in it, and then some kind of spice in there, either the chili crisp or the other one. If you don't like it spicy, then you don't have to put that stuff in there. And I'll just keep a lid on it here and keep this in the fridge until I'm ready to eat it. For the burritos, though, the burrito mix, and I also use it in other things. I'll make a really good ramen noodle meal, also using this burrito mix that I make, and I'll say how to make that too here in a second. But I add a can of the chili in here. Now that that's in, I add 1 can of this original diced tomatoes with green chilies. I go ahead and use a can opener, of course, and then I dump out the water from it. You don't want this to be too loose. And that's ready for the rice. This is a lot of protein. It's got your fruit from the tomatoes. It's got peppers. It's got beans. Super good for you. Once you add the rice, you get the rice and beans complete protein. Of course, you can eat it just as it is. Just heat it up and maybe add some spice or something to it. But this has some crumbles from the chili, which a lot of people, they won't eat some unless it has some kind of meat substitute or meat in it. And so this takes care of that. And the rest of this will be filled with rice, then it'll be mixed up thoroughly, and it'll be ready to make burritos. So the rice is almost ready. Jasmine rice is, in my opinion, one of the best rices just because it's better than polished white rice. It's not as good as brown rice. Of course, it's not as good as the mixed up whole grain rices, but it does have a higher vitamin content than just polished white rice. It tastes better than polished white rice. Also, I put in the pan, before I add the water to boil, a relatively good amount of pink sea salt. So that's going to add some nutrients and also some flavor. Okay. All right, got my rice ready. It's ready here, yeah. And I'm just going to add rice until it's totally full. And I'm sure we all remember when we were kids. I'm almost 50, but I remember when I was a kid hearing that rice and beans is a complete protein. Of course, when we were kids, we always heard over and over again, you need to eat more vegetables, you need to eat more roughage, you need to get more vitamins, you need to eat your carrots. Kids don't eat enough veggies, we need to eat more vegetables, you need to eat a salad instead of fast food, all that stuff. We heard it constantly. And then once you decide to go ahead and do that, you're going to hear, oh, you're not getting your protein, 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 you need to eat meat, you're not getting, that's which is BS, because, you know, it's just not true. So, okay, this I'm going to stir up. When I mix this, I go around the edges and work from the back to the center, and this will help to mix the chili and everything up into the rice. And I'll go ahead and give the rice a little bit of a turn. And what you're going to end up with, especially, it will solidify when it's in the fridge, but you end up with a pretty solid, thick burrito mix, and it's really, really good. It's pretty good on its own too. It's not bad if you want, you know, to eat a good source of protein and vitamins and stuff, and it's not expensive. This is some rice, a small can of diced tomatoes with peppers, and 1 can of vegan Gardein chili. Okay, that's thoroughly mixed up, and what I'm going to do is put the rest of the rice in a container. Now this is glass, and I mean, I'm going to recommend glass because it's just all around better. It's not going to leak plastic into your food when you microwave it or reheat it. It doesn't stain the way plastic might if you use anything with pasta sauce or tomatoes or things like that. It'll stain the plastic. It's just all around better. It doesn't crack like plastic. Of course, if you drop it with the right velocity and stuff, or hit it against ceramic or something, or one of these sinks too hard, it's going to break and be dangerous. But plastic cracks and loses its seal, so it's heavier, but all around better. I recommend glass, but in this case I'm going to use plastic for storage. One thing you can do, if you got rice on your spoon, you don't feel like dirtying up maybe a metal spoon or something to get the rice off there, I use the edge of the lid because it's like a little scraper. See? Using the edge of the lid, and it's just taking whatever rice is on there right off the spoon very easily. Now, depending on how your rice settled as it was cooking, this might be harder if it's really, really sticky, clumpy rice, but when it cooks perfectly, of course, you're going to have little to no rice stuck in the bottom of the pan. So this is pretty much 100% perfect right here. That's what you want to see, is almost no rice stuck on the bottom of the pan at all. And that sometimes can be hard to do. It's all temperature. It's the right temperature, and you know, when you're simmering it, you don't want it to boil, but you also don't want it to simmer too low. So watching very closely as your rice is cooking is important. So there we go, and then that's ready for storage. And then later, when I run out of my Asian rice, this will be ready for a nice big container. I didn't just do this for no reason. I'm actually hungry, and so I'm getting ready to make myself a nice big vegan burrito. So if you want to learn to do that, you can watch. One grand sized wrap here. It's a nice big one, as you can see. And this is, if you like chili cheese burritos, this is especially really, really good. I'm going to be using some Hellmann's plant-based mayo, the sauce sambal oelek chili paste that I showed earlier, some plant-based cheddar, the mix I just made, and some shredded lettuce. Iceberg lettuce. Yeah, iceberg lettuce isn't the best lettuce ever. Okay, whatever. It's yummy. I don't know, people might think, why would you put mayonnaise on a burrito? But this ends up adding kind of a sour cream like texture as it heats up. It gets thick, and it gets kind of a teensy bit sourish, and it also complements the cheese. So I do this for those reasons, and notice it's not super thick. It's enough to kind of get a little bit of a wall of it on there, but not too much. You don't want that to be really thick. And then you want to add the cheddar. This is all personal preference. If you don't like too much or any cheddar. That's up to you. This is going to be a good amount there. Now we're going to add the burrito mix. It's still hot, but this is all going to be cooked a certain way, and the way it's cooked it makes it even better. So, and this you'll need either an oven or a air fryer. I'm using an air fryer because it's better, and I can't really tell you the exact equivalent of oven because oven temperature or time, because I don't use an oven for this, but it's going to be close. It'll be close to the same temperature or time with the air fryer. And what the air fryer will do is it will add some rigidity to the wrap. It will, of course, heat up the food and melt the cheese and thicken the mayonnaise. It's really, really good. And I like this stuff a lot. I'm making a tiny bit of a mess here because I'm reaching in front of the camera, which I'm not used to doing. So we're going to add some more of that. So now I'm going to add some of the sambal oelek chili paste. And this can add a tartness. And if you don't like hot, don't put this on here. Obviously use a mild or medium salsa or sauce. The sauce is going to add some more, obviously, more tomato chunks and more vegetation. If you don't want it to be more tomatoey, then use sauce. If you don't mind the extra veggies, use salsa. This is a chili paste, so it's not adding any more tomatoes or anything, but I quite often will use ghost pepper salsa for this too. That's the next thing in line that I would use. Next we're going to do a generous amount of leaded shreddus. People wrap a burrito, I've seen them put everything on one side and then roll them up, and that's fine. I'm not, schooled in the art of burrito wrapping, but I know a way to do this. So what I'll do is I'm going to fold up as much as I can and then push down the sides to kind of encapsulate the filling. Then I add a little bit of mayonnaise right here to the bottom. And this is glue. Okay, then I'm going to spin it around. Same thing here. Add some glue mayonnaise. Okay. Then I'm going to fold up one side here and let the glue kind of take hold of the mayonnaise. It's messy because I don't want too much of the toppings to escape here. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of mayonnaise right across the top, and that's going to seal it shut when I fold this thing shut. There we go. And of course I'm going to wash my hands right after this, but that's what we end up with, is this nice big burrito. So to ready this for the air fryer, I'm going to heat it up in the microwave for about 2 to 2.5 minutes. So when you put this in the air fryer, you want to put it so that the top fold that overlaps the burrito is facing the middle. And that's so that when it's done cooking, you can use a spatula to easily slide under the burrito and lift it up out. You don't want to grab it with your hands because it could injure you. Here's the top seam, and I'm just putting it right in here. Actually, I'm going to turn it sideways. So this is the angle that I'll be reaching in, since this is a little bit larger one. Okay. So for this, we're going to be going with air fry, and we're going to do this for 10 minutes at 275 degrees. There we go. Now it's starting to cook. And there we have it. It's a nice hot cooked burrito. The edges are crisp on it. It's holding together. Sometimes you want to eat this with a spoon or a fork ready, because these can be messy. And I'm going to go ahead and eat it with a generic Sam's Cola Coke here. Guess where I get all my stuff from. So yeah, it's very inexpensive, truthfully, if you're creative and you look for, you know, basically the best, simplest, easiest stuff you can deal with. A lot of it's vegan. You know, apples don't come branded vegan, and rice doesn't come with a label on it that says it's vegan. But a lot of food that you eat, of course, is vegan. Mm. Mm. Wow. Oh yeah. That sauce is incredible. It's so good. Mm. Mm. Toast that are little burritos.